to Houston, to LA. I'm Patricia Tone, and I am here finally going live. We had some technical difficulties with the microphone and everything, and it was my fault again. I am with more entertainment. I got feedback from you, Daryl.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sharing the link to the show with everybody. That's all. Don't mind me. I cut it
Oh,
off. I cut it off.
okay. So for my audience, tell them, Daryl, how we met. Tell them where we met, how it all started. Do you
Oh
remember?
wow. Not really. I was in a filmmaking group and I was trying to get advice, and everybody was being so mean and nasty. And you were one of the few people that were nice to me, and you answered all my little goofy, annoying questions, and we just hit it off ever since.
I think
Because
that
most people,
it
yeah,
probably was on Facebook, huh?
it was, and those people were being so nasty, and you was like, don't pay them jokers no attention, and
Yeah,
and that's what you did. You answered all my goofy little filmmaking questions. And after I talked to you, I ended up going out and getting my own equipment because at the time I was just acting. I wasn't doing the filmmaking. Then I went out and got this stuff, listening, and you told me what to do. I was like, "How you do this? How do you do that? What's your opinion on this? What's your opinion on that?" And you started telling me stuff, and then I just moved on from there, and that's
yeah.
all I did.
There used to be a thing back in the day, right, where it was, oh, you can learn on the job. That's all I used to hear when
Hmm.
I used to go to these projects and go to these people to try to learn about TV and film. And
Hmm.
I used to say, hey, I'm gonna try to go to school for it, and
Right, right,
increase
right.
my knowledge about it. And everybody would say, oh no, you don't need to go to school for that. You can learn on the set. You can learn on the set.
Yeah,
And they didn't. Them people wasn't trying to teach you to do nothing on no set,
no, because they figure you were a threat to their job if they did.
and you had to be the right color.
Yes, you did.
You had to be the
That is
right
true.
color.
That is correct. That is
So
correct.
what made you want to go down the film road?
Um, when I was a kid, I saw Denzel Washington in a TV show I used to love called Saint Elsewhere, and he played a young
Wow.
doctor. Yeah, he played a
Yeah.
young doctor, and I said,
Uh-huh.
I don't know who this guy is, but I want to do what he's doing. I said, I'm not no lead man. I just a chubby kid from Alabama, and I just said, but I like what he's doing. And I always watch TV a lot. I watched TV a whole bunch growing up because I grew up kind of like an only child. So
Mhm.
commercials, jingles, television shows, this stuff, I committed them to memory. So, but I never saw myself getting an opportunity to do that because, like I said, I was a farm boy from Alabama, and Hollywood is way over there, and New York way up there. And I was like, I didn't see me going to either one of those places at the age of 10 or 11. So I was like, but I never lost that interest. I said, well, maybe I can one day learn how to do something in the industry, and that opportunity presented itself after I got grown. And I started out doing student films and background work, just strictly for fun. Then people started calling me back, and I said, "Well, maybe I can give this thing a serious run." And I was doing it for a couple of years. Then my big break came, and I got in the Screen Actors Guild, and I met Bill Duke, and I was on a film project when I lived in New Jersey, and he sat me down. We talked for almost 3 hours. I had him one on one for 3 hours, and
What?
wow, but he was waiting to go in and do his scenes, and I was back there with him. We talked for 3 hours, and he said these words to me. He said, "They won't let you in the door. Come through the window. They won't let you come through the window. Come through the ceiling. They won't let you through there. Come through the basement. But get in the house." He said, "The more you know, the more chances you have to get in the house. If all you know is acting, uh, and they tell you no, then you sit out in the yard." He said, "I act, write, direct." He went down the list. He said, "I did all these things." they had to let
Yep.
me in the house because I had more than
Hmm.
one skill. So when he said that, I started gradually. Every time I got a little money, I put a little side to buy a piece of equipment at a time, a piece of equipment at a time, saving up my money, saving up my money. Um, so I started working behind the camera. He said, young man, he said, there's more jobs behind the camera than in front. Everybody wants to be on the in front of the
Hmm.
camera, but when the credits roll, there's more people you see in the credit for working behind the camera than in front of the camera, right? I said, yes, sir. He
Yeah.
said that. He said that tells you something. He said all them names you see, those are jobs, paying jobs. He said think about it. The cast is this big. The crew is this big.
Yep.
And
Hmm.
I was like, huh. He said, if you pick an area that you're interested in, learn that, and then start working around. He said, you're not gonna hop out. Nobody's gonna give you no money to direct the film. You don't have no experience. You need to learn lighting, sound, all that stuff. You need to learn those skills because you can't tell somebody what you want if you've never put your hands on it. So that's what I did. I started learning stuff. I said, hey man, I knew people that had their own equipment going. I said, can I just tag along? I'll help you out a little bit and kind of watch what you do. So I started doing that. Then I moved from New York to here in Ohio. I was like, because my kids acting crazy. I thought my career was over, but got here, and the Russo brothers are from here, who did the Avengers,
Mm.
because all the Avengers stuff was shot downtown. They turned
Wow.
downtown Cleveland, make it like New York. So they shot that here, like a mile or two from here. They shot White Boy Rick. Um,
Oh
bunch
wow.
of movies. Yeah, I'm out here. If you watch White Boy Rick, the skating rink thing, that skating rink's like a mile and a half, 2 miles from my house, and so they shot most of his scenes in and around my neighborhood. And well, of course, the Russo brothers, they blocked off last summer. They had certain streets downtown blocked off almost 2 months filming down there. They rerouted
Mm.
traffic all through downtown. But yeah, I got here, started filming. Oh, and I said, well, you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do something I never did. I said, I'm gonna go to film school. I said, I need to learn the actual stuff and learn how to edit. I really went to just learn different things. And the lady just looked at me one day. The lady that was in charge of issuing out the equipment on the weekend, every weekend, she said, "You always checking equipment out." I said, "I'm shooting something every weekend if it's nothing but a minute." Because I learned that watching you. You would shoot these little shorts. And I said, "Man, let me go and start doing that." Only way I'm gonna learn is to put my hands on it. So I'm getting this
Let me
equipment.
tell you. Let me interrupt you real quick. I'm
Go ahead.
sorry. I caught more hell trying to do check out equipment like you at school to shoot
Hmm.
the little shorts. And I remember when I first went back to school, I went back to Houston and I was at Houston Community College in
Uh-huh.
Stafford. And so the guy, Don, was over all of the studio camera equipment. I
Hmm.
went in there every day and checked out a different camera in the studio to figure out how it works, to practice with it, to
Hmm.
put the stuff together so that when I got out in the field, I wouldn't be standing around. I would know exactly what to do, where the stuff went, where to hook it up, and all of that. And one day, Doug came to me. He said, "You are the very first person and the only person so far who has come in here in this studio and checked out and played with every camera and every piece of equipment in the studio."
Hmm.
So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and when I saw you doing that, I said, man, this is a hands-on type deal. You can't read a book or watch a video. Yeah, people give you instructional videos, but until you actually put your hand on it. So I was
Yeah.
doing that so much because I had these little shorts. I was writing 1, 2 pages and shoot. I would go out on the lakefront and hook the camera up. I was shooting a little stuff and interviewing my son because he's a recording artist. I was interviewing him, and I would sit there and practice editing the videos on. That's how I got my hands on, learn how to do Premiere Pro a little bit, and it got to the point one day. So the lady looked. She said, "Come here." She said, "Aren't you the guy that was in the movie Live Child?" Yeah. She said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I'm in film school. I want to learn how to work behind the camera." She said, "There is nothing we can teach you here that you haven't already seen." I said, "No." I said, "I've learned a lot. I've got an actual hands-on, something I never would have got there." She said, "Look." She said, "What kind of camera you want?" And of course, at the time, everybody wanted a red. I said, she
Oh
said,
yeah.
and I was like, she was like, "Well, what's so special?" She said that's because they say it's the industry standard, pretty much. So she said you're gonna spend $30,000 on a camera, and I can show you how to shoot the exact same way with this camera over here. And so she said, come here. So they had a red. They let me don't touch it because red had loaned it out. And she showed me how it worked, and she showed me on a little old Canon, Mach 5. She said, I get the same quality almost. It's not the camera, it's the lenses. And she started doing all this stuff. She said, now, since you want that kind of camera name recognition, she said, buy a Blackmagic 4K. So I got online and bought it, and that's what I got. I got a Blackmagic. And she was like, aren't you glad you saved yourself about $25,000 or better? I said, yeah. I said, she said, you getting the same stuff? Yeah. She said, why are you still in school here? I was like, well, I wanted to finish. She said, what? You losing money sitting here. There's nothing we can teach you that you haven't already seen or tried. She said, if you just want to blow your money and time, stand here. She said, you already in the union. You know what a set is like. These kids have never been on a set. You've been on set working in front of the camera and behind. I said, yeah, you got a point. What you need to do, the money you spend in the school, you need to start buying equipment. Because every weekend you've already checked out everything we got here and you learn how to use it. Get your own C stands, get your own boom mic, which is I got.
Right.
And I started buying lights, a piece at a time, piece at a time, piece at a time. Now I got everything I need to shoot a movie. I don't have to ask anybody for anything.
See, we
But
have this
go
is
ahead.
why this is why I liked you immediately too, because we have the same mindset. I would buy whatever camera I could get my hands on, and I
Mm-hmm,
would upgrade casually, right?
mm-hmm,
And I would get talked about a lot from my family about not having money, but I never could tell them that I had just spent $1,500 on a damn camera. You know what I mean? I was buying equipment. I had everything just like you. I had mics, lights, camera, action. I was ready because I was so serious about learning how to uh, produce and direct and edit and do all the same things you just talked about. And so people would be shocked, literally shocked. I don't know what it is about this face, but they are so surprised when I know certain things about production, and I don't know why. I'm just like everybody else. You go and you learn or whatever, and I can't tell you how many times where in my little bitty small no budget wake up and just had an idea, meet me at the corner projects. Somebody will say, "Oh, you really do know what you're doing, huh?" I'm like, "What?" Uh, Even if I didn't, I'm trying to learn what to do, but it would be just sometimes it would be so insulting of my
mm-hmm,
intelligence or intellect about certain things.
mm-hmm. It's offensive. I'm like, you don't think I know
Yeah.
something just because I'm older or whatever the case may be? And I'm
Right.
like, I'm black, I'm older. Okay, I got a late start in life doing this. Okay, big deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's
I enjoy what I do. I really enjoy it.
so I also want to go back to where you said you had the opportunity to get into this. You had the opportunity to follow your dream. What was that moment? What happened? How did you how did that
Hardship, hardship makes you dig deep. I had just gone through a divorce. Um, I had lost everything. I was sitting in my little spot that I saved up and got, and I was watching late night BET Comic View. I said,
hmm
I'm funnier than that guy. I've always believed in myself. My mom, and I'm just sitting there because my mom, when I was 10, she gave me a sheet of paper. She said, write your name. And I wrote it. Every time I write it, she would take the paper and ball it up and tear it up. So I got frustrated. And she finally said, I'm doing this because you writing your name small. Ain't nothing small about you. When you write your name, you
Mhm.
draw it across that paper. Your name's gonna mean something one day. So that got in my head. I'm like, she was like, believe in yourself. How can you expect the world to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself? And so I'm sitting there, I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, he on TV. He ain't funnier than me. And I said, I'm gonna give that a try. So I found an open mic in Atlanta because I was living in Atlanta at the time.
What?
And yeah, and I started doing stand up comedy. I did it for like 5 years.
You never told me this.
That's how I got started. That's how I got started doing stand up comedy. Um, it was crazy. The first night I went on stage, they had me open, Carlos Miller from 85 South, and then Chris Tucker's brother Dexter. They let him close the show up. We all went on
Shut
stage together
up.
for the first time I ever did comedy. I was on stage with those two guys. Yep. So I was on.
Wow.
Yeah, I started at age 37. And I was sitting there watching TV one night, and I was like eating some old stinking Funyuns, and I said, "Yeah, I can do that." And I went to an open mic. The open mic was funny though. I don't know if you ever listened to what's that? Erica Campbell and Griff, the gospel show. Well, he used to be secular back in the day. He used to be on the radio with Wanda Smith, the guy that Cat Williams got, the lady that Cat Williams got into it with,
Yeah.
and Frank T. They all
Yeah.
were on a morning show in Atlanta, and well, Griff was on the show too, and he was hosting this open mic in this jazz club up in this area of Atlanta called Buckhead, which is what they call the Rodeo Drive of the South.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Hmm.
so I went over there a couple of times, and people started coming to see me. They start asking about me. It's no, because they said, "Big boy, da 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 from Alabama, he gonna be up here tonight." Da 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 da. So sometimes, a couple of times, people realized I wasn't there. They turned around and left. So that kind of like made him a little. He got in his feelings about the fact that people were coming there acting for this amateur. So
Wow.
6 months into comedy, I was very professional, always professional. I put on my suit, had a business plan, briefcase, walked up to these clubs, presented my business plan, said, "No, let me get the door, you get the bar. You don't have to know. I'll pay the people out of my money. Just let me have the venue on your. What's your slowest night?" I said, "I'll host the open mic on your slowest night, and you'll see the difference. We'll bring the crowd in." So I had 6 months. I was into doing comedy for 6 months, and I was hosting in two clubs.
Shut up.
And them
I don't even know how I never knew this. You know I did comedy, right?
I saw that, and them people, them comedians were mad at me because you can't throw a
Oh
rock in
yeah.
Atlanta and that.
Yeah.
Atlanta, L.A., New York market, you can't go those places and you trip over a comedian or somebody think they
They the
funny.
most cutthroat, hateful
Oh
people
my
on earth.
gosh,
Yeah, they
are they?
jealous. Oh my
Between
God, yeah.
between the jealousy and the drug use,
Yeah.
which was I wasn't a part of either one. Um,
Yeah.
People sitting back, oh, you too good to take a hit of this. No, I don't want that. All I want to do is tell these jokes and go home. I'm not trying to hang out with y'all and kick it. None of that. I don't
Yeah.
want to get high. I don't want to get strung out. That
At
wasn't
least
my.
you
That
didn't
wasn't.
at least you didn't have them always trying to ask you to sleep with them and go come
Yeah.
back to my place and all that.
Well
That
you
shit
well
used to
you
get on my damn nerves. No,
well
no,
you
no.
do well you do know I lived in Atlanta now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. All
there
right.
you go. There you go. Okay. So you already know.
I digress.
There you go. There you go. All right.
Oh my God. Oh my God. But yeah,
So
I I I remember for me what made me fall in love with film. We my mom was the coach of our baseball team and
mm,
I was the second base. I was the first girl to play on the boys baseball team, hardball, not softball.
hmm
And they used to harass my mom a little, all the other male coaches or whatever, but one of them took a likeness to us, Coach Johnson. And Coach Johnson also had a daughter. So he decided if since I was playing, he was gonna let Tracy play. And we became family friends. And one day we went over their house and Coach Johnson said, "Oh, let me show you what I got." This was right when projectors and stuff were
Mm-hmm.
getting popular in the black household. And
Mm-hmm.
Coach Johnson pulled that projector out, and he had a plain white wall in his house, and he put the family film on that wall. And I was sitting in this chair facing the wall, freaking mesmerized. I didn't want to go home. I just kept saying, play it again, play it again. I was fascinated by the images on that wall. And I had already been in love with movies because we used to have a theater in Houston called Majestic OST, and I was so skinny and tiny. I used to sit in the chairs and just watch the movies over and over for free, and they didn't know I was still in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when Bruce Lee and all of them was out, Jim Kelly, and I used to just sit there and watch them damn movies 10 times in a row at the movie house and get a whooping when I went home because I was out too long. But that's how I got into the love of film and TV as well. We were so stupid. We used to try to watch Cheers late at night, and my mom would say, "Go to bed," and we would put a white sheet over the damn TV. No, we were
Mm-hmm.
kids. We didn't know you
Yeah, you
could
didn't
see
know.
the damn reflection still through the white sheet. Oh, that used to be so funny to me. But yeah,
Mm.
we got in so much trouble. So I remember when I was overly impressed with you, and that was when you showed me some clips of that short film you did. Can you talk about that?
Oh, uh, I went. This is funny how things work out. The guy that shot my documentary, he was going through the same thing. The way I met you, he was in a group of camera makers, operators, and they would never have him all short and nasty, just like the so-called
Yeah.
experienced. So he went through that, and I went through that, and then you met me, and then he met somebody like you that was in the camera group. So it's this actor guy that's looking to shoot something. Maybe y'all could work together. And so we got together, and everybody thought we was gonna fall flat on our faces. We shot the doggone short just on a whim. Let's just enter in some film competition, see what happens. Ended up winning about two or three of them out of the five that we submitted it to,
Wow.
and I was like, yeah, I think I can go on and do this for real. Now I don't have to just be an actor. I think I can go on and do the behind the scenes. I'm digging that. So he was actually showing me how to do stuff on with his camera. Now he is truly self-taught. He never went to nobody's school. He just saved up some money one day and asked people, "What's the camera that I need to get?" And he bought that camera and he started just watching video after video after video. And then he found people that had the same camera that he used. He shadowed them. He just was self-taught. So I kind of followed his lead a little bit, but then like now, once when I get off here, I got my stuff set up over here on my computer. I watch so many training videos about lighting, three light setups and one light for interview, documentary style, how to use one light, how to use two light, like this light back here,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
barn door
Yeah.
here. I got three of those. And I'm getting ready to order a big light and put softbox on, all that kind of stuff. So I just started teaching myself by watching. YouTube is your best friend if you want to learn some instructional videos.
That's my
Yeah, join,
That is my motto, baby. Don't ask me no
YouTube
questions.
University,
Go look on YouTube.
right?
Go to the tube.
And I joined them Facebook groups. I got a Black Magic camera, so I went on Facebook and typed in Black Magic
Yeah,
camera. All the groups popped up. I joined every last one of them. And them rude
yeah.
people came in and said, some of them said nice stuff, some of them said nasty stuff. And I
Mhm.
found my mentor that is here. He teaches me everything about my camera. He lives right here. He said, man, I'm in Cleveland too. He said, here's my phone number.
Wow.
He said, whenever I'm shooting, you want to come and shadow me, you can. Shoot, and that's what I did. The first week I got that camera out the box. He said, bring your camera and your lens. He told me what lenses to get. He said, these lenses right here, it won't break your pocket, and you can shoot quality films with these lenses. And I bought them. He said, in fact, don't even buy them new, buy them used off of Amazon or either eBay or whatever. And he's like, boom, 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 boom. And that's what I did. I've been just piling equipment. Every little thing. He said, Dale, I said, I want a gimbal. He said, for what? I said, but he said, because that's the trendy thing. He said, 80% of your shots that you shoot in the film are going to be on a tripod. He said that the other 20%, a lot of people are shooting freehand. He said, now if you want to get a
Right.
shoulder rig, okay. He said, but the gimbal, yeah, he said, I got a gimbal. He said, but I'm more experienced with it than you are. I've been shooting long. He said,
Right.
learn how to shoot on that doggone stick. And,
Yeah.
he was honest. And listening to him and other people around here, I have saved myself thousands of dollars and
Yeah.
hours of headache because I'm willing to be, I'm teachable.
And see, my thing too, I'm gonna put it on the sticks person too. I can to this day, I still can't stand to see $1 million films that's shaking. And I'm like, why y'all just didn't put that shit on some sticks? You get seasick watching them sitting there trying to do handheld shots, and y'all got millions of dollars. Put the thing
Hmm.
on some sticks so I won't be dizzy watching the damn movie.
Or get a steady cam and get a fig rig, which is my next purchase. Because
But see, like, go ahead.
I found a deal on the body steady cam with the fig rig for $300. I can't
Mm,
let that pay. Yeah, $300. And you know how much they cost brand new, right? With the overhang and the fig rig, they don't even make
You know
fig
you
rigs no more.
talking to a technical person about stuff. Yeah,
Right.
I know how
So you
much
know
it
that
costs.
you yeah. So they don't even make fig rigs no more. It's got
Mm-mm.
the body suit, the whole with the arm and all that. All he wants
Mhm.
$300.
Wow. Now see, back to you finding your mentor and
Mm-hmm.
somebody who loves what you do. That was hard for me.
Really?
I people because most of the guys that I would meet with
Hmm.
cameras or whatever, they had girlfriends or wives. So those people think I want their man. I don't want your man. We trying to make movies, baby. I wasn't even nearly no way 1,000% attracted to any of these men. Do you understand what I'm saying? I was attracted to the camera. They didn't understand that. And so it
Were
wasn't
there wives in the
until
industry? Were there wives in the industry?
I don't know. I never asked because I didn't care. I didn't give a damn about
Most
them.
ti- most time when they
I,
act like that, it's people that are outside the industry. Because if they were in the industry
yeah,
too, they would
yeah.
get that you there to work, not to play around.
But still in LA, I don't know. They funny out here when you
Oh
hanging
yeah.
around a man, industry or not. Everybody
Uh-huh.
think you want their man, and I don't want your man, boo boo. You don't even want him half the damn time. So why would I want him?
How
But
long have you been in LA? Off and on,
ooh,
you say.
35 years.
Really? So you've been out there longer than you've been back home.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh God, you're a
Oh
Californian.
yeah.
You're not.
That's what I know. Everybody, that's all my family say that you're not Texas anymore. I'm like, well, technically, I still am deep in the heart of Texas, but
No, you're from California. Now
it
I'll tell you a
wasn't.
funny story. Huh?
What
I'll
I
tell
was
you a
gonna
funny
say, it
story.
wasn't until undergrad where I started finding people that liked what I did,
Hmm.
and I was able to get like a small crew. It wasn't until I got into school. So, what's the funny story?
Now you know my phone number, right? It's the LA number.
Oh yeah,
I have
yeah.
never, I've never been to California in my life. I have never
Stop,
set foot in
girl.
the state of California. Here's why I have
What?
an LA number. Now this is a funny story. Now this is why I have an LA number. When I was
Wow.
acting in when I was acting in Atlanta, and you would audition
Oh,
and try to get jobs, the production companies would come from LA and New York. They would bring the main cast from LA and New York and never give us a chance. We got background work or either small speaking parts. So I switched my phone number from an Atlanta number to an LA number. The week after I did that, I started getting phone calls because people thought I was from LA and had moved to Atlanta. But
wow.
when they thought I was just a local talent, they oh well, we got this background role. It pays. hundred and some dollars a day, whatever, whatever, whatever. But when they saw the LA number, they said, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah." So I thought, my college buddies from LA. I said, "Give me some neighborhoods that I can name, and name drop in some places, so they'll think I'm from LA." So I use my acting skills. I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah. I live over in Torrance and da 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 da." And then from there, I moved to North Hollywood. And, it didn't work out, so I came here. To test the Atlanta market out. All along, I ain't never set foot in California in my life. The only place west of the Mississippi River that I've been, Texas, of course, 'cause I love Houston. I started moving to Houston, and New Orleans, and then I went to Portland. I have never been in California in my life, and my
But that
tightest
was
friend. Hmm?
genius. Go ahead. That was
And that's
genius.
how,
Your
and
tightest
that's how I
friend.
started getting jobs. That's how I started getting jobs. That's how
Wow.
I got that big break to being flagged because they thought I was a actor that had come into the Atlanta market instead of just already being here. And that's how I got the
Wow.
break.
You know, I I I want to talk about how I used to go to all these film festivals, back to your mentoring thing.
Hmm.
And I would try to find people to get with. And every now and again, I would get people, that would, people love to test me. And I know when I'm being tested, and I hate
Hmm.
when I'm being tested. Don't fucking freaking test me. I hate it. But people would come to my little productions, as they say, and just look around and, oh, it's not that much, it's no budget or whatever. And then the moment that they needed help with a project they were doing, then they would call me because they thought I would just work with them for free, even though they didn't do anything to help me on mine. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And so my name, when I put the Rodney Perry show out on Facebook, my name started circulating. You remember on Facebook and social media, and I was getting all these DMs and private messages, and folks literally demanding, not saying, "Hi, Patricia, I'm so and so. Can we meet? I would love to talk to you about a project. Can you shoot my talk show? Can you shoot my entertainment show?" I'm like, "I don't
Hmm.
even know you. Why would I do that?" And then they wanted it for free. And then they would get mad. Dude, they would get mad. I had people I never met upset with me because I wouldn't bring my camera and shoot their talk show. It was insane. It was literally insane. And
Hmm.
so I took a break for a while, from even going out and meeting people and talking to people and all that, because it
Hmm.
was so draining. But nobody wanted to go to that next level. Now let me know when you gotta get off, because we didn't talk about time.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just going, running, hanging out, watching the fight later on. So I'm just ask me whatever because this is like a full circle thing for me because a lot of the stuff that I do now I got from asking you all them off the wall questions. I wish I could just I got them in boxes somewhere here. All the questions that I actually was writing stuff down that you would tell me, and I
That
used to have
work?
what I would have like cheat sheets. I'm like, well, if you're trying to shoot a wide, what lens would you use? You said, well, oh, I like to use this, this, and this, and then I'd ask my mentor here. He's like, yeah, she told you the right thing. I said, well, what kind of lens can I get like that? It won't put me in the poorhouse. And he would tell me where to order it from, and I go get it. So a lot of stuff I would write and I'll be picking your brain, not testing you, but actually because you had actually done what
Oh,
I was trying to do.
I knew you were being honest. And
Yeah, because
still,
I didn't know. I had no idea what I was doing. I said, I need to ask somebody who's actually doing it. And I said, well, what ISO do you normally use? What's best to shoot this, and this? And on a sunny day, which direction do you do this and this and this? And when you shot this video right here, how did you keep the sun from being in the person's face? Oh, well, I shot with the sun at this angle. I said, okay, I'm writing it down on my cheat sheet.
I
I had
still
I had a
smile.
bunch of doggone index cards from stuff
And
you
let
told
me
me.
tell you, I know you're not lying, because I still smile. Like when a while back when I was doing the ride share uh, vlogging, and I had this backdrop. You were the first. Where you get that backdrop?
See,
You
so you
always
know what I'm saying?
remember. What did you use on this? And where did you get that? And I just be sitting here. So I'm like, look at that. He's still out here trying to pick my
Yeah,
brain, learn everything.
cause
But
that's right. Cause and I go right online. I try to find it. Cause
here's what here's what I appreciated. I'm gonna tell you thank you again right now. Here's what I appreciated about you. I knew if you asked a question, that meant my shit looked good. That's the way I took it. That's
and
where
that's why
that's the way
I
I took
asked.
it. I
Yeah,
was like,
exactly.
wait a minute. I would be in here. You know how we are. You get self-conscious
Hmm.
and insecure, and you feel like you forgot everything that you learned. But
Hmm.
I go ahead and do it, and every time that my insecurity is at an all-time high, here you come. Hey, how did you do that? I'm like, okay, you look good.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell
I'm
you
like,
something
okay,
now.
you
Like you
look
talk,
good.
I'm gonna tell you something you did. Thank you, Marcel, for coming.
Thank
I'm gonna tell
you.
you. I'm gonna tell
Hi to
you.
everybody. Thank y'all. Hmm.
Uh, I'm gonna tell you something you did. You probably just like, oh, that was just one of my projects. You were shooting with this lady in a park. I forget the lady's name, but it was been like, was I living here? Yeah, well, I had just moved here not too long. You did a, it was just you and her, and but you were behind the camera, and she was your actress, and you it was a scene you were shooting in the park, and she was supposed to be going through some kind of problems, I guess, with her boyfriend or husband. That was the whole premise of the story, and I said that's when I started asking you all that. Well, how do you shoot on a cloudy day, and how do you make it all look the same? So, because I hate seeing scenes where one thing the lights blasted all the way out, then the next one is dark like they're in a broom closet somewhere. How do you balance it out? And you was telling me how to do that, and I'm like, okay. And that's when I learned about ND filters. I went out and asked my mentor, I said, where do I go to get them? He said, oh, you can order these on Amazon. Da, da, da. I said, how much they gonna cost me? And that's when I went and got those ND filters. And I'm still playing with and learning those ND filters. But that's the kind of stuff I was getting from asking you, because them nasty people in the group wouldn't. Well, you should know
Well,
that. Then you would know that if
mhm.
you were working on a
here's
real film project. Oh, they so nasty.
here's what I learned. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Here's what I learned.
Hmm?
They don't know the answer.
And they want to play it
It
off, try to
took
make you
me a
feel little.
hard. I learned the hard way. I would sometime be on these little private sets or independent sets is what I'm trying to say. And I
Hmm.
realized they didn't know. They don't know the answer. So they were jealous of me because I knew what I was doing. Like I told you earlier, I can't tell you how many people look at me and go, oh, you actually do know what you're doing. Uh, yeah, I do know what I'm doing. I've had people now, it's been 20, I had friends I knew 25 years, and one of them said, called me and said, so, shortly after I graduated from my master's, she said, so what directing school did you go to? And this is a well-known actor, famous
Hmm.
actor, who was my good friend. It still hurts me to this day that we're not friends, but it shit happens. He asked me what school I went to, and I said, why? And he said, I'm thinking about directing now. I said, well, you don't have to go no damn school for that. I could have been teaching you that shit for 20 years. And it was just the whole insultation of it. I'm making up words. I was just so insulted
Hmm.
that from that whole conversation, and it just broke my heart. I was like, wow.
I had an experience like that too. I was in New York, right? And I'm not gonna say this guy's name, but I thought he was the coolest actor out there.
Yeah.
And he was on one of my child. You remember that show, The Visitors, about the lizard people that came? It was back in when we was kids.
Oh, okay,
That
okay, okay, okay.
this person was in that. That's all I'll say. I'll tell you offline. So that's how far back I've been admiring this guy's work, right? So I happened to see him one day on the train. We hopped off. I followed him. I wasn't trying to stalk him, but I wanted to introduce myself. So I followed him up the platform to this coffee shop. I hate coffee, but I ordered some coffee so I could strike up a conversation. So I explained to him what I was doing, and I'm new to the union. He congratulated me. Small talk, small talk. And I said, well, I'm interested in working behind the camera. He said, well, when you get everything set up, give me a call. So I emailed him. We'd exchanged emails, and I had his Facebook. I hit him up on Facebook. I said, what's your day rate? So that's why I was letting him know. I said, I only need you for one day because I knew obviously if I had a budget, it wasn't going to be big enough to afford this guy. Well, if you have to ask, you obviously can't afford me. And that hurt me so. And I swore, I said, if I ever get up here, I will never talk down to somebody that's trying to get up there. I will
And
always,
first of all, the day rate varies based on the value of the production. Wow.
but that hurt me to my core. It bruised my little feelings. I said, I'll never treat nobody like that. But I tell you, some
Yeah.
people I have worked with that could have been nasty, but turned out to be the nicest people on set and the people that had no business being nasty to anybody. And now you see why they ain't got no jobs now. But one of the nicest people I ever met was Rue McClanahan, Kathy Bates, your homegirl from Texas. She can play some cards. Oh, Loretta Devine, one of the nicest people I ever had the pleasure of working with. But I ain't gonna say the names. I really want to because some of them so nasty. Now you look at them, they tripping
You
over each
know
other.
what? Listen, I probably not already met them people because when I used to do talent assistant and working at all the award shows, I met everybody
Oh,
else
that's
who
the
was.
worst. Oh, you had the
I
worst
know them
job dealing with them
all.
attitudes and them egos and
Oh no, I used to have fun though. There are very few, fortunately, at the award shows that had attitudes. But when I was on set with a few people, yeah, I was apparently intimidating. And I tell people all the time, y'all don't want to meet half. They don't want to meet half of the celebrities that they think have the it factor, or are so
so they
cool.
just as
Because when you
nasty
meet
as they can be.
their ass in person, you
Oh,
will
they
be like,
nasty.
ew, ugh,
Very nasty.
no, yeah, yeah.
Very nasty.
But but I I also have, like, when I really really started directing, for me it was extra hard being a black female because once
Mm,
again people think I don't know what I'm doing. And I remember I won a mentorship in the Producers Guild, which I
oh,
had
wow.
joined based
Mm,
on me getting the job for season 3 on
mm.
Sunday Best, right?
Oh,
And
you worked on that show?
I was the writer for Sunday Best season 3.
Wow.
And from that, I joined the Producers Guild. They had a certain, they have several categories. Then when I joined, they had the mentorship applications opened up. And so I filled it out, and they picked 13 people, I think, something like that. And they put you with a producer who is actively working. And I was put with the guy who was producing Perceptions at the time on ABC.
Mm,
And we meet in Santa Monica at a Starbucks. And so I walk up. It's during the time of the Dodgers playoffs. It's playoff season for baseball. And I
mm.
walk up and I sit down, and he says, okay, I got to tell you something right away. I'm not going to give you a job. Don't ask me for no money. And I'm not going to refer you to anybody. This is first thing out of his mouth, not hi, how are you? So now I'm pissed because why are you here? So I said, and that's exactly what I said. I said, well, why are you in the program? I said, you don't even know me. I said, why would I ask you for money? I don't know you like that. You're supposed to be here to help me, And you just sat me down to tell me what you're not going to do. Why are you in this program? He says, well, I've had everybody that I've had in the past, all they've ever done was ask me for a job, ask me for money. I asked them for a portfolio or some links to their work, and none of them ever even had any links to their work. I said, well, did you ask me? He said, you have stuff online? I said, yes, I do. And so he said, well, the game's on. I'm going to give you my email and you can email me the links. I was so mad. I didn't want to do it, but the pride in me to show his ass that I
Mm-hmm.
had work
Mm-hmm.
outweighed his attitude, my anger. So I get home and I send him for my projects online.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And before the baseball game is over, he calls me and says, Patricia, I have to apologize. You're the best mentee I've ever had. I have never seen anybody's work as good as yours at your level right now. I am going to give you some days on perception as a PA.
Mm.
And that's how I got to work on perceptions. I got to meet the guy. It's a guy from God dog it. If he used to have a show, a real famous show, and then he got this other show, Perceptions. I think it stayed on just a season or so, but he was really nice. If you Google that show title, you'll be like, oh my God. But dude, let me tell you, you talk about a budget, their food budget was in the millions.
Mm.
That's when I knew how much money Hollywood had for budgets.
Mm-hmm.
Just on craft services, Daryl. I was like, ooh, these
For
white
one
folks got
season.
money. One season. But he did try to help me. I think, not I think, he did try to help me, but it's hard to say if he was just spinning the wheels. You know what I mean? He sent me
Mm.
over to Disney for the diversity program, and that Hispanic Mexican man over there was so damn rude to me. I wanted to punch him in the face. Why are you here? And I'm like, Eric sent me over here. Well, why? I said, aren't you over the damn diversity program? I was livid. So I told him about that. He got mad. Then he sent me, you ready for this one? He sent me to William Morris Agency to
Dang.
meet with an agent. Yes, he did. He said, you, the work I've seen is more than some of the other people they have signed on as a newcomer. So he set me up a meeting, but the man he set me up with didn't meet with me. And he sent me to uh like a talent. I don't know if she was assistant or what, but she was a lower level talent
Mm-hmm.
agent. I think
Mm-hmm.
she might have just been in the program or something. She had just gotten there and she was rude and nasty as fuck. And she told me, we will never sign you as a director. You will never be able to direct on a TV show. We will never hire a female black director. You should just stick to production assisting.
Mm.
Told me this in my face.
Mm.
I
And where
I
is she
can't
now?
even explain the anger. I don't know. I can't even explain anger. I was so mad that I felt violent.
I
So
can
I had
relate.
to I had to immediately leave without saying anything because when my left if I'm that mad to where I'm ready to be violent, I need to go home.
Mm-hmm.
And I just picked my shit up. I didn't even say anything to her and I walked out. And I called the guy and told him what happened. and that was it. He gave me some more days on the show, and after it was all over, I just thanked him.
Mm.
Yep.
So you worked the entire season three of
Yeah,
Sunday Best.
my name is on
Oh
every.
no, no, no! I'm just
No, I
thinking.
was just saying, I did.
The,
Yeah,
the reason I'm laughing is because Marcellus right here in the chat. Marcellus is out there in California, and we joke about was that Kim Burrell working there then? Well, that
yeah.
was after you. So
No,
we
I
we
met
had this running. We had this joke about is she tall or real short?
her.
Very short, and she real mean, ain't she? Yeah,
No, she she
needs a hug.
a lot of people, no, she liked me. A lot of people liked me for some reason on that show because I was a writer. I haven't figured out why. But they would all come and ask me writing questions. And she was
Mm,
one of them. And we were staying at the W in New Orleans, and she saw me
mm,
in the lobby. She said, "Patricia, I always I wanted to write this, and I love writing. I want to do this. I wonder if you could give me a few pointers." I was like, "Absolutely." She was overly nice, very nice. I didn't see the
mm,
mean side of her
mm,
until I watched the show and some of the auditions. See, I wasn't at the actual auditions of the show. I
mm,
was at the live performance of the show, the
mm,
airing of that show.
mm,
And I just, everybody has two or three sides. I didn't see that side of her, so I can't comment on that. I
mm,
didn't have that experience with her. All I saw was kindness, joking, happy
mm.
for her. And
So
so I
who taller, her or Kurt Frank? I
no,
bet him.
she's taller than Kurt. She's
Get
taller than
out.
Kurt.
Well, she
Yeah.
ain't that short then. She just average height for a woman. But
Yeah.
Kurt's
I
short.
mean,
Kurt a
I
little bit
thought I
though.
was I thought I was short until I meet other women that's a little shorter than me. I was like, because all my life my family called me shorty. And
Mm,
now when I get out, to the world, I'm taller than most of the women I meet. I'm like, well, why was everybody calling me shorty?
that's 'cause
But
you're from the South. It's tall women in the
that
South.
was
You
one of
Southern.
my nicknames growing up, among many. I had a lot of nicknames, and Shorty was one of them in the family. But
Mm.
yeah, Kimberell was. I didn't experience that with her. I only experienced happiness, love, kindness, sweetness, and joy with her.
Now, when you were doing this show, did you have to travel a lot, or it was just
We went
mostly
to
like?
New Orleans. No, we shot in New Orleans at the convention center.
So you were there for a couple of months.
3 months.
Ooh,
And I hate New Orleans. I'm sorry, New Orleans. I hate New Orleans with a
why?
passion. Oh, I
Why?
hate it.
Because it was so hot.
No, I'm from Texas, so it just felt dirty and nasty, and it was dangerous. We couldn't get cabs to take us to get stuff to eat, and it was hard to get around in that city. And I remember we weren't far from the IHOP. So one night, from the convention center, instead of getting out the van, we only had the van to pick us up and take us to the convention center. But one night, the driver was nice, and he dropped a bunch of us off at IHOP, and some of them went to the other surrounding neighbor restaurants. And I'm in IHOP trying to get something to eat, and they shooting. I saw 7 people that got shot by the time I ordered some hot some hot pancakes. I was scared as hell. I was so scared. And so I definitely couldn't get a cab back to the hotel. So I had called my mom and I was like, Mom, you hold on. I'm going to run through these streets and try to get back to the hotel safely. And it was so dark and I was so scared. And
Mm,
that was the last time I went out by myself. I was like, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. But I
that's
just,
crazy.
I just didn't like New Orleans at all. Not at all. See,
I'm
I
just
don't
out.
drink. I'm not a party person.
Oh,
So
so the
it was
French Quarter had
Bourbon
no
Street.
interest.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. We went to Bourbon Street. I was like, ooh. You know what? Like Nene, like, ooh, the ghetto.
That wasn't
I
the ghetto.
turned, I turned it. I mean, that's how I felt. I turned into Nene Leaks on there, and so I'm like, ooh, a white refrigerator. Oh yeah, I didn't like it at all.
Hmm.
But I had fun doing the show. I did. It was a great experience.
So
And
when were you normally shooting? Monday through Friday, or just whenever they could? Did you get the weekends off and get to go home? Or?
you know what? I never had a day off because I was writing.
Hmm.
Writers, she's just writing 24/7 because she has to approve the script. The executive producer has to approve the script.
Hmm.
And the main script, I'll never forget this. The main script, I wrote a script based on seasons, right? This
Hmm.
show was the topic of the show was seasons, and I remember staying up. I This was one of the best scripts I had ever written in my life. I was talking about seasons. I had implemented scripts and things from the Bible, and I was so proud of. It. She was like, "Ooh, this is pretty good," and so there were two executive producers though. The other one who I had never really had any contact with, who had never really even went through my scripts, only the girl I knew. I went to high school with her. Some kind of reason, this script on seasons that I was really excited to have Kirk read my words. That girl changed the whole script. They trashed it. Kirk Franklin that night started saying the script in the teleprompter and said, I can't say this stuff. It was all about, how can I say this? Same sex fun,
Mm.
the whole script.
And they
And
changed
I
that
was livid. I was livid because how you think Kirk Franklin finna talk about same sex stuff
on Sunday Best
on national TV on a
with all the
Christian show?
show with all them folks watching.
And
Oh,
what made me angry is everybody thinking I wrote it. That's the part that burnt my butt. Baby, I'm telling you, they say you ain't supposed to defend yourself. Shit. I went all around back. Said, I didn't write that. I did not write this. I did not write. All night. I kept saying, I ain't write that. I did not write those words. Nope, nope, nope. That's not me. I ain't write that. I did not write that. It was awful. It was God. I never been so mad in my life. In my life. Kirk was so upset and he had every right. It was, whoo, it was
so
bad.
the other person, what did they get the?
No, she was the executive producer.
They didn't fire her. The network didn't
It
fire her.
was her show. I don't, you know what? I don't know if they came back for season 4. I would have to look that up. I don't know if they did or not. But I know doggone well, baby Kirk was not happy. I think you're right. I don't know if they came back for season 4 or not. I can't remember if that girl came back. Her name was Nia. That's all I'm gonna say. Her name was Nia. I'll never
Mm.
forget that shit, baby. But anyway, we're gonna come to an end, Daryl. I have had just
Okay.
a blast talking to you today. I appreciate you
Well,
taking your time out to
thank you for having
talk
me.
film and the
I want to
business.
interview you on my show.
Hey, I'm ready anytime. I am ready.
Yep.
You don't never have to worry about me. I'm ready.
All right,
Okay.
because I want
So
people to hear your story.
thank you. Everybody, y'all go follow Daryl. His links are in the information. Is tell him your handle.
I'm normally when I'm doing the other stuff is a cigar vlogger, but just Daryl is fine.
No, you're at More Entertainment. No, you
Oh,
can
more
shout out
entertainment.
the
That's my
shout
film
out
company.
but shout out the but your handle on to follow you, subscribe on YouTube.
Oh yeah, that's more entertainment. That's my film company.
Okay, but I'm saying just say both of them, Daryl, real quick.
Okay, it's more entertainment. MOORE-ENT, and it's the home of 4.5 film.
Now do
That's me.
the cigar one. Say that one.
And the cigar vlogger hashtag cigar vlogger with a VLOGGER.
All right. We'll put that in the comments so they'll know that one too. All right. But
All
thank
right,
y'all. Thank you everybody. Thank you for
thank you.
watching. I appreciate it. I'll be back next week with a different guest. Y'all hit that subscribe button. Leave a like. Leave a comment. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Daryl.
All right, thank you. Bye bye.